Hello, welcome back to my Let's Play Thaumcraft 2015 series. So, my iron armor was getting pretty damaged, and I was tired of having to repair it, so I would like to make some Thaumcraft armor. Now, we're not quite ready to get what I want, but I want to start the process. So, Thaumcraft has a metal called thaumium, and I found one ingot in the town in the Thaumcraft chest, but we're going to need more to make armor. And I also want to do some enchanting on it that you can do in Thaumcraft so that it can repair itself. And so that's a little bit down the line, but it's where I want to go. So if we open up the Thaumonomicon to the Alchemy tab, we'll see this magical metallurgy research. And that's what will let us make thaumium. But it is an alchemical recipe, and before we do any more alchemy, I want to get into Essentia Distillation. Essentia Distillation is going to let us cook up items and get the individual aspects together in a liquid form, in Essentia form, and that will help us with alchemy and also with some other kinds of crafting we're going to do down the line. Now, to open up some of these tabs, like to get the tab for Essentia Distillation, you need to open up the research for Alimentum. If you don't have Alimentum, you will not be able to research Essentia Distillation. And after some comments, I am not going to show the researches anymore for Thaumcraft stuff. You've got the research helper. If you need help with it, that's where you can go. I'd like this to be more of a let's play, less of a tutorial, so I felt the criticism was valid there, so I'm going to stop showing the research. I will help you get there, and I show you what has to be done, and show you the process, but I'm not going to repeat myself. I think I've shown enough research so that you know how to do it if you want to play the game without the helper. So, after you have Niter and Alimentum researched, you'll be able to open up Essentia Distillation. So, what is Alimentum? Alimentum is a fuel source. It's like coal, it burns longer. I'm not sure if it'll burn in normal furnaces or not. I think it'll burn in vanilla furnaces. I'm not sure about mod furnaces. But it is an alchemical recipe. You put some ignis and potentia and some Perdicio in a crucible and throw some coal in there. So I used 3 pieces of coal, 6 pieces of cobblestone, and then 2 more pieces of coal as the activator to get 2 pieces of Alimentum, which I've already made. So, Alimentum is a good fuel source for Essentia Distillation. It's, difficult to make. I believe there's some automation we can do with alchemy later on, but we're not there yet. But we have a good start. So, Essentia Distillation. This is basically cooking up items in a furnace and getting raw essentia or liquid aspects that we can use for alchemy and other things later on. So, Essentia Distillation is an arcane workbench recipe. The first thing you need is an alchemical furnace. Then you need some Arcane Olympics. The furnace cooks up your items. The Olympics store the different aspects until you put them somewhere else. And I went ahead and made some glass files. Glass files are a pretty simple recipe. It's just glass with some clay. Similar to a glass bottle vanilla Minecraft recipe, but with some clay on top. And you get 8 rather than 3 glass bottles. So that's kind of nice. And we can use glass files to store liquid essentia. And when we toss them into a crucible, we will get just the aspect that was in them. Even though there's also vacuose on glass files, that will not become part of our crucible stuff. So it's very easy to simplify your recipes, not waste things, or get enough so that you're not wasting aspects in your crucible. Alright, so to build the alchemical furnace and the arcane alembic, go back to our Thaumonomicon, Essentia Distillation. We need some arcane stone block, a vanilla furnace, and a crucible. It needs 5 aqua and 5 ignis, and that will get you an alchemical furnace. Now the Arcane Stone block, this is a research that is already open. It's, let's see here, I think it's on the Artifice tab, and it's open almost from the beginning, I believe. I think it is open from the beginning, so it's on the Arcane Stone, and this is just vanilla stone, not cobblestone, real stone, and a shard. Any shard will do. 1 Terra and 1 Earth, and you get 9 for 8 pieces of stone and the 1 shard. So, back to the Alchemy tab. That gets us our alchemical furnace. Now, then we have to build the Arcane Olympics, and the Arcane Olympics is a 2-step build process. First, you need to get these V filters. V filters are used in the Arcane Olympic recipe. So, V filters are gold and silverwood planks, which you get from silverwood logs, a special kind of tree you can only find in a magical forest biome. It took me forever to find one of those, but I eventually did and cut down a couple silverwood trees. I was hoping to get some saplings, but the sapling drops for silverwood trees are quite rare, so you're not always guaranteed to get even 1 sapling, which is unfortunate. It's hard to make a silverwood tree farm. You just have to hope you have a magical forest nearby you can go to. Alright, so I got 6 V filters because we're going to use 5 Arcane Olympics. I had to make 2 at a time, so I've got 1 spare. I'll probably use that again at some point. So, the Arcane Olympics, another Arcane Workbench recipe, V filter, gold, iron, and a bucket, 5 air, 5 aqua, and that will get us the Arcane Olympics, which I've already made. Alright, so temporarily, just to demonstrate it, I'm going to set it up right here. Let me go grab my scaffolding because it goes up a little bit high. And you just put the Arcane Olympics right on top of your alchemical furnace. Or you would if you could reach your alchemical furnace. Shift click, shift click, shift click. Alright. Now, the reason for the number 5 is that is the most number of Arcane Olympics you can have atop a furnace. So, if you don't take the aspects out of the Olympics, that would mean you could only have 5 aspects total in these. Each Olympic will have a different aspect. They can only store 1 at a time. The furnace can store more, but, you can't take it out of the furnace. You have to take it out of an Olympic, because there's no way to differentiate between the aspects that are in the furnace. So, once you put items in here, and it's like a vanilla furnace, fuel goes in here, items go in here, it gets over here, you can see the processing over here, what's in the furnace, and the processing time is over here. So, let's say I wanted to make some more golems, because, in fact, I do. So, let's make some trapdoors, some rotten flesh, and zombie heads, and we'll put some of this alimentum in here. You can see it cooks up, and we get some Essentia. And it gets drawn into these furnaces. And you can see Modus is in here, Arbor is in here. That's the aspects that are in trapdoors. We'll also cook up some rotten flesh. Sorry. And these 2 zombie heads. Now, you can also use coal, or I think almost any fuel source in this, but it's much faster in processing the Essentia when you use Alimentum. Alimentum burns longer and processes Essentia faster. So, all of our Olympics are full now, but there's still Spiritus in the alchemical furnace. What are we going to do now? Well, to get things out of the Olympics, we're going to use these glass files. So, I'll take that Modus. And now, that Olympic is free to have some Spiritus in it. And it will just distill right into there. Now I've got 8 of that. I can get some of that. So I also needed Humanus. There we go. So I now have 8, and 8 Essentia is what will fit into one of these glass files. You can't have any more or less than 8 Essentia in a file. So it's always helpful to do things in multiples of 8 where possible. So given our recipe for golems is 4, 4, and 4, I can make 2 golems now. If we go back to the Golemancy tab, I'm actually going to replace my straw golems with wooden golems, at least for the gather golem. And if you go into the straw golems research, it will tell you some of the attributes of the golem. So the durability of straw golems, very low. They can't take a punch. Strength, very low. They can't hit back very well either. Self-repair, average. They do heal themselves over time. This one's okay, not great, not terrible, it's okay. The carry limit is 1. They can carry 1 thing at a time. For gather golems, that's sometimes a problem. We saw that on the farm when he couldn't keep up with all those breakages. Now, unless you're accelerating your farm, that won't be a problem, but if you ever want a golem that can carry more stuff, you might want a better golem. Now, the nice thing about straw golems is they are fast. That's the 1 level above average. And upgrades 1. That means we can put that 1 order upgrade or air upgrade, whatever kind of upgrade you want to put on him, but you can put 1. And all of the tier 1 golems, the ones on kind of this line, have 1 upgrade. Then you get one over here that can have a 2nd upgrade. So I've already purchased the research for wooden golems. That's the first upgrade, and it's a purchased upgrade. So wooden golems, below average durability, low strength, average self-repair, a carry limit of 4. Now their speed is above average, so I guess fast is actually 2 levels above average, not 1. Upgrades 1. So, you know, they're going to be able to carry more stuff at a time, so I like this for a short-range gather golem. Wood, I think, is a good thing to make golems out of for gather golems. So, Humanus, Modus, and Spiritus, the same stuff as you'd make a straw golem for, but instead of using a hay bale for the activator, use a greatwood log. So, I'm not going to show you how to make one of those because we've already seen it. I was hoping I could show you some grown ender lily seeds in this episode. I broke the ones that already grew, and I haven't grown any more yet, but... Alright, so that's the basics of the alchemical furnace distilling Essentia, and we can get the rest of these out of here too. I'll probably need to make more of these glass files. In fact, I'll definitely need more. So, and another thing that's handy for glass files is a tool from either OpenBlocks or it might be Extra Utilities. I'm not really sure. Let's find out. It's a filing cabinet. It's from Extra Utilities. A filing cabinet is a special kind of chest. And this special kind of chest is useful in that it can store items with different kinds of metadata. So these files of Essentia all have the same metadata. It's either 5056, that's the item code for the glass files, or if they're full, 5056:1. But this one has Modus, this one has Spiritus, this one has Humanus, Corpus, Mortus, things like that. So what we like to do is be able to store all of them in one place. And a filing cabinet is a great way to do that. So the filing cabinet recipe, iron on the sides, chest in the middle, gets us a filing cabinet. I generally keep the filing cabinet near my alchemical furnace, and we can store all of my files in here. Now I can't store any other item type. I can't put glass, I can't put clay, I can't put alimentum, but all my files with all their, I forget what kind of data talks about this stuff, not the :1, but whatever the data is for enchanted books and things like that to make them different, but the same item type. So whatever data that is, that's the data it will store in here and keep separate. So a filing cabinet is a nice way to keep all of your aspects, or all your files of Essentia. Alright, I'm going to go check time, be back in a flash. Okay, so I have decided what to do about this pillar that I don't like in my base. I'm going to replace it with an open blocks elevator. So to do that, we need some wool and some ender pearls. And now that my ender lilies have grown a little bit, I do have some ender pearls I can use to make these elevators. So going over to our crafting station, an elevator is wool surrounding an ender pearl. So that gets us 2 of those. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is set the one upstairs. Need an axe, and a pickaxe, and maybe a shovel. Alright, so there we go. There's that. And I'm going to break that for just a minute. And I'm going to put the elevator right there. Alright. And I will crush this stuff. Get rid of this marble. Hope that's right. Must be over 1. Alright, let's see here. Get that back. There we go. Okay, if you jump on an elevator right under another one, you go down. Or sorry, you go up. Press shift, you go down. Up, down, up, down. Perfect. Much better than that ugly pillar was. So that's what we're going to replace. And it's a much nicer way. I don't have a giant pillar in the middle of my base anymore, or the middle of my basement, which I didn't like, so I think I'm going to like that much better. Now, I definitely want to replace the floor around here so it looks less ugly, but that can wait. So I'll fix the floor up here too. Okay, so until I can get my Thaumcraft armor, I'm going to need a way to replace or repair my iron armor. I've been just replacing it, but you can repair your armor if you have an anvil. So I'm going to make one of those, and it's just iron blocks on top of iron ingots. Gets us an anvil. Scan that real quick. And where will I put it? I guess I'll put it over here by the Tinker's Construct stuff. Alright, so we can put our armor into this anvil and repair it. So my leggings need repaired, for instance. And it costs 3 levels of experience, which I don't have right now. But that's okay, because we have our open blocks tank. Perfect. 3 levels. Fully repaired iron leggings. And 3 was a lot cheaper iron-wise than the 7 I would need to repair it fully. I could repair the helmet too. It's at about half durability. Let's see if it'll cost just 1 for that. It would need 2 ingots to fully repair. We could do 1, and that would be cheaper actually, so I might do that. And it's probably better just grab a bunch of levels in the beginning and then decide what to do with them. Yeah, I've got some iron. I'll just use 2. There we go. My iron helmet fully repaired. And I actually did find a steel helmet and some dark boots on my trip to find the silverwood logs, or no, to find the greatwood tree, so didn't really need that, but it's okay. We'll use it up at some other point, and I won't repair these things. I'll just get rid of them when they're low, because I'm not going to make more probably. Alright, that's a good wrapping up point. Catch you next time.